Establishing contact with the Red Ribbon Elites. Contact successful. Requesting team report.
This is May reporting.
We've got eyes on our next target.
Who are we tracking this time?
The target is Super Saiyan God Super
That
Saiyan.
just sounds ridiculous. Let's call him Bluku.
Or that. That works too. Bluku has average health and ki, but boasts above average stamina, very above average basic attack and strike supers, and slightly above average ki blast supers. His second preset has lower basic attack, strike supers, and ki blast supers than the first, likely to give balance to a superior super soul within it. His third preset trades away some of his original strike supers and health in favor of boasting slightly higher ki and much higher basic attack. And his fourth preset has lower stats overall, but slightly more ki than his original preset. He has 3 points during his combos that allow for extension and 3 knockdowns, the same as Goku. He has the power type Ki Blast, and he has 2 skills of his own, both highly efficient.
His Super God Shock Flash is a 3-hit strike counter skill that sees its user enter a stance and release an aura. If the user is attacked with a melee attack while the aura is active, the user dashes back to dodge the attack before closing in again with a 1-inch punch, knocking the opponent back and allowing for a combo to begin. The window of time in which the counterattack can activate is more generous than most, and the attack can't be escaped with an evasive skill until its damage is dealt.
His Burst Kamehameha is an 11-hit Ki Blast skill that sees its user perform a swift Kamehameha that can be input again for more damage, at the cost of a second bar of Ki. The first input's knockback can allow for a combo to begin or extend, while the second input simply increases the damage dealt, becoming a 23-hit skill. It's more effective the closer the user is to the opponent, as increased distance decreases the overall hit count, as well as needing to be timed well to achieve maximum damage output. His second preset has Goku's Super God Fist, Kamehameha, Instant Transmission, and Maximum Charge, with Spirit Explosion as an evasive skill and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken as an awoken skill.
His third preset has Meteor Crash, Burst Kamehameha, Backflip, and Maximum Charge, with Spread Shot Retreat as an evasive skill.
His fourth preset has Super God Fist, Burst Kamehameha, Sledgehammer, and Maximum Charge, with Spirit Explosion as an evasive skill and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken as an awoken skill. He has Goku's Warp Kamehameha and Super Kamehameha as ultimate attacks in every preset. He's the only character in the game with the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken awoken skill, a transformation that, at the time of this video, activates the following: a 25% automatic health drain, a 75% reduction to the cost of stamina during Z vanishes, and reversed aura burst dashes, a 15% increase to all damage dealt and taken, a 12% increase to ground and air speeds, and an 11% increase to boost dash and step speeds. At times 10, they increase to the following: a 46% automatic health drain, a 100% reduction to the cost of stamina during Z vanishes, and reversed aura burst dashes, a 35% increase to all attack damage dealt, a 30% increase to all damage taken, a 17% increase to ground and air speeds, and a 15% increase to boost dash and step speeds.
His first preset, Super Soul, it's a bit of a long story, reduces 1 bar of an opponent's stamina when its user hits them with a charged Ki Blast. It has the Defense Up and Super Armor Limit Burst effect.
His second preset, Super Soul, I've Been Saving This Kaioken, boosts the amount of Ki its user restores by 20%, boosts stamina recovery speed by 12%, and boosts the power of its basic attacks by 10% when using the Kaioken Awoken skill. When using Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, the stamina recovery speed boost is reduced to 6%, but the effects otherwise remain the same. It too has the Defense Up and Super Armor Limit Burst effect. His third and fourth presets, Super Soul, I Ain't Losing, Here's My Full Power, boost the power of all Kamehameha ultimate attacks by 20% when they're used. It has the Attack Up and Ki Auto Recovery Limit Burst effect.
Or at least that's what we believed back when we actually wrote this. So since it's been a year from then, let's see which ultimates might not get the boost.
Overall, Bluku is a fundamental character the same as Goku, who can battle comfortably at any level while having a game-breaking awoken skill to fall back on if he finds himself pushed into a corner. He has very above-average offensive stats across all his presets, and he boasts equally above-average stamina across them, making his ability to duel opponents very strong. He's the only character in the game who can vanish indefinitely or near indefinitely simply by activating either stage of his transformation, and is therefore the only character in the game whose ability to duel opponents is uncontestable upon transforming.
Super God Shock Flash is a solid counter whose inescapable damage is invaluable, as well as being able to start a combo or allow for a burst Kamehameha, which itself can serve either extension or combo finishing purposes. Access to Super God Fist allows him the use of one of the best strike skills in the game, allowing for combos to extend close to the floor of a stage and potentially overriding an opponent's Z-Vanish due to functioning as a command grab. Both Warp Kamehameha and Super Kamehameha are among the best blast ultimates in the game, being powerful and easy to use, as well as having their power boosted by a skill boosting Super Sword.
However, his biggest flaw compared to his base form is that he is not customizable, so using better stats and skills together sacrifices his potential in one way or another. By extension, the fact that he has to transform at all to access his unique strength could be considered a flaw since he has to first gain 5 bars of ki to do it. And that's on top of having to find the opportunity to transform afterward.
It's mainly due to his transformation's unique advantage over the rest of the roster that he is ranked the highest of Z rank, or at least the closest to be legitimately considered, unlike Hercule.
With that being said, we've chosen not to mention basic or fundamental strengths for Bluku because he is one of the 4 Goku clones, who all share the exact same combos and have attributes so similar that the differences in them would be subtle at best. This one only stands out because of his ability to cheat what could arguably be the most important resource in the game: stamina. For reference, we have a video on the importance of stamina and being able to manage it already, but we'll drill the point in further just to drive home how fundamental it is.
A Z-Vanish is Xenoverse 2's most basic defensive maneuver, used to get out of being attacked but just as often used to try and make up for mistakes like missing an attack or having reacted too slowly. Making a mistake in a fight, video games that have fights or properly acknowledged competitive games typically means being left open for punishment. For another reference, we have Hercule placed the highest despite not even being able to perform that basic maneuver at all, because he can instantly cancel and or defend himself in the middle of almost every attack he does, which is generally impossible for characters anywhere to do, let alone together. That means for him, he doesn't need to vanish so long as he's as competent as his opponent or can stay ahead of him. Lacking the most basic defensive maneuver means he's at a massive risk of falling behind should he make a single mistake and get hit, but what makes Hercule unfair is that it doesn't cost him anything to perform the very cancels he can use in place of those vanishes. Bluku doesn't need to stay ahead of anyone to avoid danger. He only needs to transform to be able to do it, and once he does, he is almost completely free to make as many mistakes as he pleases because he will receive next to no penalty for doing so. He has about 11 bars of stamina at my current level of 141, and characters with very above average stamina like him can expect to be able to vanish about 6 times at most. That's 6 chances to gain the advantage, at the cost of 2 bars of stamina each time. From just the first time he transforms, Bluku's reduction to cost gets him double those chances at worst. A character on 3 bars of stamina should not be sitting equal to a character with 12 while being able to freely make so many mistakes. In fact, when a character's stamina is below the 2-bar threshold of being able to vanish out of being attacked, players and especially high-level CPUs will perform a stamina break, and that typically means the end of a match. Alternatively, if a character is within breaking range, they might not even be able to reverse or burst dash, which is what CPUs and players use to interrupt most ultimate attacks. But that itself costs a bar of stamina to use, meaning if a fighter lacks a bar of it, they'll be forced to try and evade those attacks with vanish steps if they don't have skills that can protect them, let alone the key to use them even if they do have them instead of being able to stop them. Ultimates that are fast, cover a wide range, or follow their targets are thus a danger in that situation. Bluku denies even that. In just one transformation, he threatens to break one of the most, if not the most important rules of the game. He flat out does break them at times 10. Between him and Hercule, their placements at the so-called highest of Z rank refer to being unfair to the game. They literally defy the game's rules to make the game easier for them. aka cheese. Unlike the characters that are coming after them though, they don't represent mere potential for cheese where it takes a lot of work to do what they do. All they have to do to be abusive is just fight normally. In other words, they are designed to be cheap, which fits Blue Kaioken considering Goku broke time with it.
But they're not invincible. Blue Ku still has to spend the normal amounts of stamina to use evasive skills, so he really hates being knocked back and fired at, which would force him to spend stamina like a normal character would. Attacks that fire continuously or hard-hitting one-hit skills are a good bet against him too. They'll both also suffer the same stamina penalty for being just guarded, so a reckless aggression can be used against them if a player is experienced or timely enough. In short, these are the two characters whose cheese is so cheesy that they force their opponents to go out of their way just to have hope of dealing with them. They reduce the amount of effort they themselves take to win, and raise the amount of effort their opponents have to use. So in case it ain't obvious by now, they are not fun to fight.
Other than that, we'll be saving all the basic and fundamental data for his base forms video. This is one of the 3 Goku clones who all share the exact same combos as him after all, so they all share the same strengths and weaknesses as he does. Their only differences tend to be some discard and drawing of stats, skills, and super souls. The real Goku who stands up is coming 2 videos from now and will very likely be the longest video of the entire series, so once we reach him, you can take everything mentioned in his video and apply it to all of his clones outside of what notable differences we mention. We will also pretty much just link all of their videos into his, even this one after we get to him.
Thanks for watching. We're gonna keep them coming.
This is my 2nd run in a row. You can enter that. I'm going to bed.
We're done here.
Nice work, but we just received word on our next target. Unlike the previous 2 missions, it looks like we'll finally start covering fighters who can be taken seriously. The target is codenamed
Master behind his god.